have to go upstairs, I think, right? I mean, this one gives 3, and that one only gives 2, so why the heck would I do that one? Okay, I'm gonna try this and just see what happens. Okay. I don't understand what I need to do to see those two. To buy one of those and think 4 seconds have been said, and here you are, right on time, with no sign of them. You wait a while in the apartment, red descending as the sucker spins onward. It should be here. Pace back and forth around the apartment, the rumbling of the station suddenly suppressing and loud. He goes to the door and opens it to an empty corridor. Close it again. Check and double the terminal for messages that records nothing, just a pale glow of the silence. Try to settle down to wait. You sit on the bunk and stare out at the tiny room. Where the hell are they? Knock at the door. still. Another knock. Another stay still. A flash, small, impossible bright cuts through the handle of the door. It suddenly swings open. Rabia. The figure stands in the door. Immediately you know it's not Sabine. They are taller, sharper, and something in their face glints in the half-light. Dark shape like a stubby baton hangs loosely from her hand. A local sleeper. Good to finally meet you. She steps into the apartment, glancing around with sharp eyes. What, may I ask, are you doing here? She fixes it with a steady, unwavering stare. Waiting for a friend. Of course, a mutual friend of ours, the good doctor. She walks past you into the apartment, glancing around. We set him up here, you know. This place is one of ours. She picks up a glass from the dispenser and inspects it. People always seem to forget who put them where they are. She glances at you, and I suppose you are here to help? Something like that. Good, good. Puts the glass down and turns to face you. I love to meet helpers. We need so many, but can find so few with the right skills. She spins the baton in her fingers by her side, her eyes not leaving yours. You're a problem, you and I. It seems our friend has disappeared, left without even saying goodbye, which means they are in a little trouble now. But it's the kind of trouble that you need to help for, so I thought I would come down here and take a look at their little hidey hole, and here you are. To help. He looks through the detritus on the side. And what help? A sleeper no less, which I have to admit is a little surprising. It suggests to me that our friend hasn't been very honest with you either. What do you mean? I'm sorry to report that before we got them set up here, Sabine was working for your owners. She pauses. SNR. Blink hard at the news, unsure how to take it. Rabia looks away, waiting for a response. She crosses into the next room and you follow silently. She sits at the terminal and touches her baton to one of the access ports. A spark, then a terminal screen skips, encrypted folders emptying themselves before your eyes. In the flicker of files you see SNR, letterheads and code forms, reports laden with medical data marked with the corporate logo like the sigil of some cult. Rabia steps away from the terminal. Look all you want. Some of your files may even be there. The volume of documents is overwhelming, but they seem to be mostly reports of early emulation tests. Surveys with sleeper candidates, reams and reams of users' data. If Sabine was an SNR employee, why did it help you? Rabia reaches over and places a vial of stabilizer on the desk, breaking your concentration. It shimmers in the screen light, its viscous, clear liquid crystalline within the glass. You will of course keep up the supply. We are more than able to dispense important medicines, even without the doctor. You hold it between your fingers, and for a tiny moment you have the urge to crush this object for the power it has over you. I'll ask Toshiro to make those a little cheaper for you. You'll be running the surgery now. Rabia closes up the briefcase lab and holds it at her side. We have to retrieve our assets, of course, but I'm sure you understand. Rabia turns on her way out. There is no reason for us to be enemies, Sleeper. Come see me. I keep an office nearby. We have good work to do, you and I. We've been there in a few cycles. She slips out silently into the corridor. You look around the apartment, feel the fear drain out of your body to reveal the tiredness beneath. Only one that would be interesting really is this one, Instant Karma. Wait 2 seconds for that. Oh wait, okay, let's go. Shipyard. The crowds have already gathered by the time you get to the shipyard and you recognize faces among them, people you have worked alongside on the side rail. The intervening cycles have turned their excitement to anxiety, and few of them smile at you. Instead, the nervous energy of the crowd fills the space, creating a feedback loop of growing tension. You pick out Lem and Mina and work your way over to them, pushing through the crowd. He suddenly raises his eyebrows at you. With anxiety obvious, but Mina flashes you a huge smile and unaware of the tension. "Robots!" he shouts, reaching out to you. Hug her? Gratefully accept your hug, leaning against his chest, and Lem smiles, seemingly glad to share the weight of Mina for a moment. Quite a turn on, huh? Lem glances around, pulling Mina close. I don't think patience is one of this crowd's strengths. The sound of an argument towards the back catches your and Lem's attention. He's putting it lightly. This place seems set to explode. This isn't good. Lem doesn't dare answer, but the look in his eyes suggests he agrees. This is as the ring heart of the Celis Foundation. The announcement echoes from the speakers of the shipyard entrance, and the shouts of "Quiet!" rapidly follow. I'm sorry I can't be there to meet you all, and thank you on behalf of Senator Celis for the work you have done on the sidereal horizon. Most of the crowd is strange to see Aster's face, but the small display shows only a ghostly white figure, smudged and unclear. Sandra wants me to pass on a personal thanks to you for your commitment to and belief in the Celis Foundation's mission. We chose the Eye for this project because we knew that we would find like-minded individuals here, especially among the ranks of the Venerable Evanage Association. Like most of the core, we neither believe Erlin's Eye to be a threat or a rogue state, but instead an embroidery for the information of a new, decentralized social structure, one where each citizen might be the master of their own destiny. A ripple of impatience runs through the crowd who didn't come here for a sermon. You're all pioneers, just like those core citizens who the sidereal horizon will carry. In cryosleep to the planet will become the Foundation's first frontier world, Celis 1. The mention of the destination world excited conversation break out among the workers. There, our citizens will be able to create their own innovative, bottom-up economic order, aligned with the principles set down by Sandra Celis herself. Freedom, resilience, and self-sustenance. This is all thanks to your tireless efforts in the Heaven Age Yards. As a reward for those efforts, you may know that we are offering a select group the opportunity to join the caretakers of this vision, the staff of the Sidereal Horizon, who will maintain the vessel during its multi-decade transit through interstellar space. Lem turns to you, his eyes bright. Lit. This draw has been performed at random by the central AIs of the Foundation and is final and binding. Please note, only licensed contractors of the Foundation are eligible for this draw. Now you have all been eagerly waiting this day, and without further delay, I will now read the Celis identification numbers of those chosen for this great honor. A murmur runs through the crowd. Celis identification numbers? Licensed contractors? You have never even heard the term mentioned. Is this something you were supposed to be assigned? You glance at Lem, but his eyes are fixed forward, wide and shimmering. All around you, people are speaking in hushed tones like a rising wave. Aster starts reading out sequences of numbers and letters, and panic begins to set in. No one seems to know what is happening. Someone near the front of the crowd, someone shouts in celebration, and everyone pushes forward. Lem? Turn to see Lem still staring forward. Mina is scared now as the shouts start. Ready? Someone throws something at the entrance and it rattles against the shipyard doors. You see, for the first time, Heaven Age security stood on either side, scared, arguing between themselves. You feel the anger rising in the crowd. Lem, let's go. It doesn't move. I might call out names. I can't. Mina tugs at his dog tags. It's not happening. Lem blinks rapidly and then turns to you. He opens and closes his mouth and looks down at Mina. He sees the fear in her eyes and understands. It's time to go. You lead Lem and Mina out, shoving people aside. As you do, you hear the sound of scuffles emerging at the front of the crowd. Metal canisters bouncing off the shipyard walls. You keep your head down and walk away. The sound of Aster reading off the ciphers echoing above the chaos like some strange mantra. When you turn to Lem, there are tear tracks running down his cheeks, and Mina is sniffling into his jacket. You feel the sadness rising in you too. They screwed you. Screwed all of you. You were never even on the list. The feeling is as unpleasant as it is familiar. You stare ahead into the tunnel as the security sirens sound out, a signal for the coming violence. Okay. Well, I guess we're not going that way then, huh? We can do one more, right? We take the pill. Yeah, we need to take the pill this time now. We're only gonna have 3 dices. How much is it now then? He said they were gonna lower the price for us. 100 is 80. Yep, let's go and finish that one. That atmosphere in the airlock is euphoric. You and Bliss keep grinning at each other like idiots. Exhausted, blinded, sore, and aching idiots. Sleeper. That was incredible. Punches you on the arm. I never thought we were going to make it. Those idiots tangled the whole thing up like nothing I've ever seen. Make a good team. Bliss smiles a winning smile. As the locks in the door clangs open, Moritz gives a rare whoop. He looks exhausted too, and for good reason. Moritz has been one ferrying tools and parts back and forth from the ship. His tired smile tells you that he's glad it's done. Sleeper. Bliss? He shakes his head. Impressive. When I saw that ship come in, I thought there was no way. Well, thank you, Moritz, she winks, for believing in us. Moritz rolls his eyes. You know what I mean. Take the compliment. He shoulders some of the gear that came back in with you and Bliss and heads to the racks to stow it. Bliss turns to you. I think you should be the one to do the honors. He nods to the ragged-looking console that Moritz assembled. I don't want to jinx it. She smiles, but you can see she's genuinely nervous. Check the console. Glide over to the console and check the screen. It takes a second to see what you're doing through the flickering. Cracked display, but after a moment you see the accounts. And there it is, almost 1,000 cryos sat in the base transfer account. Well, this calls. Have we been screwed again? We did it! Bliss kicks off from the floor and spins up into the base, shouting as she does. The noise takes Moritz by surprise, and he knocks a rack of parts, scattering handfuls of metal fixings across the bay. The sight is something, glinting steel catching the work lights like they glitter. Sorry, the Bliss grinning when she comes back down. I needed that. She kicks off and joins you at the terminal. Moritz even managed to sell the produce. We made a tidy profit. Eventually. She laughs. Here. Loads a stack of blank chits into the terminal and transfers a chunk of the cryo to her. This is your cut. This hands you the chits. Thank you for believing in this place. He looks away and smiles, even when I couldn't. When you first met me, I was on the edge of giving up. All it would have taken was one more push. But now, this place is sparking again. Work is coming in. There are funds in accounts. Even Morris has spring in his step. Both look over at him, happily racking up tools. That's because of you. She punches you on the arm. He likes you. He's a good kid. He isn't bad, is he? She leans in closer. You know, he came here looking to rob the place. I gave him a job instead. She laughs. Don't tell him I told you that. I just thought it might help you understand the kid. Morris turns to look at you, and both Bliss and you awkwardly wave. Maybe it's time to change the subject. What now? From here on out, it's going to be a little easier. We're going to look for some component contracts, stuff that will keep us inside the bay, not out in the black. No need to risk our necks if you don't need to. If you want to cash out, that's fine, but there will always be work for you here when you need it. I appreciate it. He smiles and then out of nowhere quickly gives you a hug. He steps back and glances around reflexively. Take care, he says softly. You too. Turn to leave. The sleeper? Yes. Gonna spend that all at once. Woohoo! We got money! Okay, we need to so let's see now. Yes, we can make some cash here if you want to. Das is nice, yeah. You don't know what these things are that I need to find. Okay, let's do this one. We risk it. Yeah. Cool. That one will be done next time. Do we need to buy anything at the moment? Could be. Which one is it where I can? Fill up. That's two, right? Seen somewhere. As you approach the address, Rabia gave you a heavy hand forcing your shoulder. What's the business here? Enforcer grips your shoulder, giving a hint of the strength her implants give her. As you turn, you see the same subsidiary eyes as the Rabia and Toshiro, glinting like mirrors on her cheeks. Rabia, please, the slip is here by my invitation. At Rabia's command, the hand immediately loosens, and an apologetic look replaces the skull on Gia's face. Of course, Rabia. I'm sorry. Rabia waves her away. Don't you worry. I appreciate your protective instincts. She smiles at the enforcer. How about you head to the Tambor? They have a delivery coming and they will need some help with the lifting. Gia nods and walks away. So, Sleeper, you came. I'm glad. I was curious. Curious is good. She smiles a tight smile. You have to understand, finding you there in Sabine's unit, I wasn't sure where we stood. There are more than a few people on this station who would rather I was dead. I had to be sure you weren't one of them. Well, I wish you no harm. I'm glad. Rabia begins walking and gestures for you to walk with her. She takes you down the staircase into the bustling walkways of the low end. What do you know about Yatagan? You run the low end. She laughs. That sounds impressive. We run out of the low end, yes. We don't run it. People with cars push past moving crates of supplies around the thin and winding passages. Our reputation is one of that implies threat. That fair used to say? We are framed as aggressors, parasites, criminals. He gestures around at the people in the passageway. But when was the last time you saw a lawmaker on the eye? Policeman? Who makes the laws here? Erling did. Indeed, you understand the history then. That is good. Erling is long dead, Sleeper, and his rules were little more than an optimist's manifesto. The Eye has changed so much since then. If you had spent your time in the low end, maybe your opinion of us would be different. This is our place, our people. The low end was empty in Erling's time. They didn't need to house thousands and keeping the yards and the rotunda safe was work enough. No, the low end was reclaimed later, and the refugees started arriving. Rabia meets your eye. The collapse didn't just happen here on this station. When Solheim collapsed, the entire system felt it. Colonies were abandoned, the moons of Ember and Cinder suddenly gained independence overnight. Some took advantage, some tried to hold it together, some fled. I became a refugee, and Erling, to his credit, extended an open hand to everyone. But many within his organization disagreed, and those new arrivals weren't as simple to corral as they hoped. Rabia leads you through a small market hall busy with small stalls and traders. Erling's union was made of workers, administrators, people who were malleable and already organized into hierarchies and networks. The refugees came from different factions and families, were scared, injured, desperate. Conflict was inevitable. Yatagan is a child of that conflict. A child born out of the need for us to stand up and claim our future. To provide security, strength. People call us a gang, but we are a community. I take my position as a lieutenant seriously, and from my birth I have worked to earn it. Rabia catches herself before she raises her voice any further. You both walk in silence for a while, among the smells and textures of the low end. I start to wonder if this place could be a home for you too. Where do I come into this? Rabia smiles to herself and thinks for a moment before she responds. I believe that you understand the importance of a refuge. But I also believe that you wish to help keep this place safe. She exhales quietly. For this reason, I would like you to trust me. I do not know what Sabine told you about us, but I imagine it was not good. I'll be honest with you, Sleeper. I was never comfortable with having Sabine as a part of Yatagan. An ex-corporate employee? It goes against our nature. But the deal was with Yannick. I kept my distance, made sure Sabine had their surgery, kept it supplied. That was all. I cannot allow people to go back on the promises they have made to us. Yatagan has not lasted this long because it is a charity. We offer and ask for support, and a betrayal will be treated as an attack. They were trapped, desperate. Many on the Eye are, Sleeper. I'm sorry, but we must ask that our debts are paid in full. Sabine found something. Please, I don't want to hear their accusations. They only wanted to escape the death. They would have said anything. But where are they now to stand behind their claims? They silent. You realize that Rabia has led you in a loop, and together you both come back up a staircase to the walkway where you met. You're free to go, Sleeper. I have said what I wish to say. He looks out through the windows of the walkway. I would protect this place with my life, as it has protected me. I want to make that clear. He turns back. However, if you too wish to come under his protection, I can help you. Return here if you wish. There will be tasks for you to complete. You will be able to see Yatagan, to see the low end with your own eyes, not as others frame us. As for Sabine, pauses to consider her words. I will not ask you to betray them, but if they contact you again, consider their motivations carefully. With that, Rabia leaves, slipping back into her office, while you stare out at the countless units, each a home, each with a story to make up the low end. Okay, so we can... Okay. So the... Okay, so we can get scraps here. We can get energy from there. Okay. Gonna help our little previous bounty hunter try to take us in. I think we're gonna do that one. Let's see. We probably should make our home too. We have one that we need. That should work. Engine. They were never going to release my debt. The shits. Ethan kicks at the locker and the sound rattles loudly around the room. Ethan paces around the small room, swearing to himself. You watch him from the locker room bench. Well, why not? Why not? He spits on the floor, an old habit. They like having sniveling little shits like us to work the club. Saves on the overheads and they get to boss us around. He kicks the locker again and swears. But what do we do? Ethan looks at you. You're asking me? That's your problem, Sleeper. No ideas of your own. You tie yourself to idiots like me and then are surprised when you get dragged into a shitstorm? I can't do it. I can't spend another shift stopping spaces bringing nail guns into the club or pouring endless shots of the roll for ignorant Heaven-Edge work crews. He looks at the locker again, threatening it with a final kick. I mean it. I'm going to go up there and shoot every single one of those shits. He makes a finger gun. Hold on. Don't get all excited. I haven't got my gun, remember? Stop pacing. But you know, Sleeper, that's not a bad idea you have there. I didn't have an idea. He ignores it. I don't mean shooting up the place, I mean getting the gun. He sits beside you on the bench. Think about it. What am I supposed to do when Maywick gets here? Shout him down? I need a gun if you want me to keep up my end of the deal. It's simple. An explosive personality for a distraction at the front. He places a hand on his own chest. A sneaky Sleeper to go in the back. He pats your chest. What about the dead? We have done our time, and the wounds they have faded. If they don't notice us take the gun, they'll never know it's gone. Plus, he stands up. After my distraction, they will be happy to see the back of me. But they will want you dead even more. Either works, at least I would never have to see the inside of this shithole again. Gives the locker one last kick. Well, good luck. Let me know when you want to do this. Then we both move as one and meet up in the Bright Market after. Don't take too long or I really will shoot this place up. He grins. You know I'll do it. So what do I need to do here? Okay. Grab the gun. You gun tucked safely into a pocket, you work your way down the stairs to lead up to the office. Doorman passes and you exchange nods. Seems like you're in the clear. You hurry on, eager to get out before anyone spots anything. You come down the main stairway into the front of the club. You see Ethan entering. He has a dark look in his eyes which troubles you. He's reaching into the pocket of his coat, slowly, carefully. Catch his eye and he raises an eyebrow. You shake your head. Long pause, then he nods and turns around, walking back out to the club. You exhale, not realizing you were holding your breath. Then you're out with a single shout without anyone noticing. You meet Ethan around the corner on a quiet, bright market walkway. You have it? He looks nervous. What are you doing back there? I was about to start a distraction, like we agreed. Sighs. Just show me. You lift it out of your pocket and it is colder, heavier than you expected. Ethan watches you take it out. Nice! Now, if you would. He beckons with his hand. Memory jumps into your mind of Ethan in the compressor, hand out, asking for his gun back. Memory followed by the memory of a sharp, dizzying pain. You flinch. Wait. Ethan gestures again. Come on, hand it over. Okay, hand it over. Ethan eagerly grabs it and looks down the sights. He sighs a sigh of relief. Then he meets your eye and slowly raises the gun until it's pointed directly at your head. Not funny. You still don't get it, do you, Sleeper? Ethan spits. When they canceled that contract, I lost everything. My reputation, my payout, any way of getting off this shitty station. Everything! All I had left was you, Prince, a naive little sleeper with a heart of gold. Couldn't believe it worked. It has. Now we're done. Stay silent. He slides his slate out of his jacket pocket with his other hand. Now to call Maywick. Are you crazy? You're a crazy, Sleeper, for thinking I would kill one of my own for you. For what? Helping me wash dishes? He laughs long and loud and you hate him for it. He crowds the sleigh. Done. He puts it away. He's here, you know, on the station. I've been speaking with him. He tells me we can split the contract. Not 50-50, but enough of a finance fee I can get out of this shithole. He's lying. At this point, Sleeper, I'm not sure you are the one who I would trust to spot a lie. He winks. Ethan glances around. I've learned one thing from you though, Sleeper, in all our cycles working in that shitty club. He smiles. People never know when to cut and run. It's like the freeze in the headlights. And the future is bearing down on them. You watch it coming, watch the death flying in a fraction drive speed. You had every chance and yet still you kept on going, like some idiot robot going through the motions even when you knew you would be crushed. Smirks. And let me tell you something else. The shot enters through his upper back and he crumbles immediately to the ground. You drop to without thinking, pressing yourself to the walkway floor like he might save you. Silence. Maywick. You look up and see him coming down the walkway, silent, eyes alight. Maywick. You freeze in fear. Here he comes. You see it just by Ethan's crumbled body, the gun. Move. Can't. Move. Leans forward. Move. You go for it. You run forward and a shot sounds out. You feel it ripple over your back. Then your hands are on the gun and you scramble to your knees behind Ethan's body and fire. You Close your eyes. You fire again and again and again until the clip is empty and all that are left are clicks. Then you drop the gun and stand up. You don't hear anyone running. You don't hear anything. You just hear the sound of your own breath. You start walking, stepping over Ethan's static body, walking along the walkway, and then past Maywick. His eyes now dark, some mechanical fluid leaking from his chest. Perhaps the same fluid that is inside you. You try not to think about it. You keep going, and the sun comes back. The eye comes back. And as it does, you hear the sound of thousands of people getting on with their lives. Thousands of people who are just going to keep going until they can't anymore. You look up and all you see are the wheeling stars. They're spinning and you're suddenly dizzy. Though the eye has always spun like this, hasn't it? And you don't stop walking. You keep going. That's all there is now. The path forward. S and ARP have left you no history, no past to speak of, just a void that threatens to swallow you if you slow down. You think of Ethan's smile, his voice, and feel sick. Is it over? You're not sure it ever can be, but you're still here, and you can't stop now. There has to be a better end to this. Witness a lifetime of bad decision catching up with someone. Huh. Okay, we have... okay, there's nothing to upgrade right now. We need 2 points. Huh. Okay. Oh yeah, we can buy that, by the way. There's no answer when you buzz Lem's unit, but the door is open. You push the door and find Mina sitting in the middle of the floor playing with Bun Bun. Hi Mina! Hi Robot, says Mina sullenly waving Bun Bun's paw without looking up. Where's Daddy? Mina doesn't respond. She walks Bun Bun across the floor, narrating quietly to herself. You look around the unit. It is a mess. Dishes and glasses on the side. Some of Mina's clothes piled up on the corner. Mina is sitting by her bag, which is spilled out across the floor, her drawing slate cracked and dark. Up. You start with the kitchen units, piling up the dishes in the outer wash and wiping them down. You pile the clothes up next, folding them neatly. Mina watches you quietly as she plays, curious but silent. You just started to look at fixing her cracked slate when Lem enters. Sleeper! Where are you? He pauses and looks from you to Mina, back again. Never mind. He drops the bag by the door and slumps onto the couch. Everything okay? Lem lets out a weak laugh. You forgot the past few cycles now too? Wish I was so lucky. He looks away at the open door. Look, now's not a good time. I want to help. Help? Unless you have a side rail ticket or 2 on you, I don't think there's much you can do here. He pinches the bridge of his nose. You understand they never even put us on the list, right? I've been all around the rim looking for work and I have run into more than a few from the cruise. Turns out only long-time Heaven Edge members were issued those Sally's ID numbers. They never planned to consider us. Heaven Edge say they didn't even know that was what they were going to use to make the draw, and who knows, maybe Sally's pulled the wool over their eyes. But what does it matter? All those hours in the yards for hand to mouth, wage and nothing else. He slams his hand down on the sofa. Giving up? Yep, ads are incoming. So we wait. More Skyrim music. It's done, so let's continue. Lem opens his mouth to respond, but stops himself. He looks at the open door again. They're moving the side rail up the hub now, you know, he says without meeting your eye. That's where it would depart from. You bring in a ship with all the cryosleep pioneers and transfer them up there. Microgravity before loading the crew. Could sneak aboard. You think they're just going to let people on board? The security you will have has to be impossible. Looks over at Mina. Look, we'll be fine. We always have been. I just need a little time. Thus, we had our hearts set on that trip, is all. Mina comes over and climbs into his lap. He smiles. What if I got you on board? I missed you these past few cycles. I missed that optimism. Lem strokes Mina's hair. Look, you want to go up to the hub and ask around? Be my guest. I can't get up there with Mina down here, and I'm sure the side rig will bring in a crowd. But be careful. This kind of thing always attracts scammers and thieves. If you find any way on board, you take it. You need help to get there? Ask me. But for now, me and Mina here are sticking to the eye. He looks up at him and smiles. I'll find a way, for us all. Lemon smiles but doesn't say anything. You stand to leave and Mina grabs your hand, eager to give you one more smile. Then you're out, back in the walkways at the low end, already think of plans to make this right. To eat. I can always do the mushroom. Away from dreams of Maywick's amber eyes floating in a pool of dark fluid. It was difficult to get to sleep, and you suspect that it isn't about to change anytime soon, not after what happened. You also feel something else as you get up. Pump the power stud of the stove and begin to boil the water, like every morning. You feel something has lifted, something that has been hanging over you since you arrived on this station. Try not to think too hard about it, to question it. You just let that lightness stay, let it settle as you go through your routines. Your hope is that you don't focus on it, don't look at it directly. You won't get scared and leave you. The lightness will stay for this cycle and then another, then another. Because after all that's happened, a little lightness would be nice. Yep, so let's see, we are gonna... How much is left of our laser. We use that one to finish that one up here, so we should. Finish this one. Place and made it yours. Squatters' rights. Okay, and we got a point, so we got 2. I think I'm gonna do this one. Because that means we get it 20% cheaper when we're gonna buy that pill and stuff and food, and that's worth it. And then we go up here. This. We finish this one. Castor, quite the achievement, isn't she? Tender Celis must be proud. We recognized the resonating voice of Castor immediately and turned to see him, hooded and tucked into the shadows near the viewing platform. Castor? I see you remember our game. Good. He looks around, but the platform is clear. I'm afraid you will have to wait for a rematch. Microgravity makes Tabla a little difficult. He smiles broadly. Castor walks out to stand beside you on the platform. The telltale clunk of magnetic boots accompanies his slow crossing. He notices you looking at them. I don't much like it up here, he explains. I hear there was some trouble at the Heaven Edge shipyard when they announced the results of the crew lottery. They screwed us. I know. He sighs, meeting your eye. An ugly business. Sellers are too used to the way things work in the core. Exploitation is the only logic they know. He gestures out to the side rail. You know why they built this monstrosity on the eye? Control. Certainly, there is no corporate oversight out here. But that's not all. He stares at the pristine yellow hull. Sensibility here, says Castor gravely, because they didn't want anyone to know it exists. He rubs his forehead. And secrecy is something I cannot abide. He turns to face you. There are people being loaded onto that ship as we speak. Sleeping people, locked in cryo-sleep like the person that you were emulated from. There are hundreds of them. And Celis wants to send them out to a planet at the edge of the solar systems without anyone knowing where it is. But you, Sleeper, can do something about that. You're like me. You deal with data. You can read it right off the air. With someone like you on the ship, secrecy isn't the problem. We can ping back whatever I need whenever I need it, as long as you're on board. With you on the side rail, and with some minor modifications, you can be my eyes and ears. I'll keep track of Celis' grand project for you. In short, says Castor, stretching, I can get you aboard, Sleeper, but I'm going to need you to help me. Who are you? I am a concerned party, someone who likes to know what's happening when it's happening, not afterwards. It's not just me. Yes, your friend Lem, that can be arranged. It is difficult, but not impossible. The condition is, of course, that you go too. Castor clunks closer to the window, watching the tugs wheeling around the side rail. It's a simple offer. The only one that you will get you on that ship. Please consider it. He turns back, silhouetted against the ship. But to make it happen, I need your assistance, as I said. There's a Ceres Foundation ship docked in the now empty shipyard. I need the data from its servers. This will allow me to produce the IDs necessary for your transit. Castor looks over his glasses at you. Ceres sounds stupid though. Their ship is totally isolated from the station. You will need to get on board if you want access to their airworld servers. Once you have the data, meet me at your friend's unit so we can give him the good news. He smiles. I notice his importance to you, and the little one. So cute. You don't extract the data before the Sidereal Horizon leaves the hub, then I will get the message. We have other options, but you are certainly a prepared one. But be sure when you act, Sleeper. Once you take the data from Ceres, you will set up a series of events that will likely be hard for you to untangle yourself from. Either way, I recommend you stop asking around up here. You're bringing a lot of attention to yourself. Castor glances around as if to emphasize his point. There are only a handful of cycles until departure, Sleeper. Make your decision. With that, Castor marches back off the platform, the sound of his mag boots fading away, leaving you to contemplate the Sidereal Horizon and the part it may play in your future. I like him. That smiley face on that one. Okay, I can't do it because I don't have it all the time. Blocks and 3. Where wasn't that at, by the way? Okay, so we got it down from 300 to 240, so that's nice. One point we can't do much. Let's see. You drop the shipman core onto the galley table with an emphatic bang. Nikita spins around from where she's been poring over some documents in her slate. Holy shit, Sleeper! Did you actually land a shipman? He rushes over and hefts the huge cylinder, turning it back and forth. Well, shit. It might actually work. She smiles wider than you ever seen. Where did you get it? Bought it. For 100 cryo? You must be good at haggling. Nikita bangs on the galley wall. Hear that, Amber? The Sleeper got you a new ship mind. The sound echoes down the ship's passages. You have to admit, being in a small space with Ankita when she's this excited is a little intimidating. Ankita puts the shipman back on the table. I'll start the process of fitting it as soon as I can. I might need your help with some of it. She heads back towards the counter to grab her slate. This isn't the only good news today either. Looks like my good karma is finally coming in. He throws the slate onto the table and spins it so you can see the screen. Take a look at this. You see a list of names and numbers, nothing that exciting, along with what looks like a transit timetable. I found them. Thieves? Exactly. Well, they're thieves, singular. She points at her name on the list. More specifically, Ashton Kaide. It was his pass that was used to access Amber and slice the ship mine. I thought he might have been killed or robbed, his pass stolen, but it turns out he crossed the Founder's Gap the very next cycle. Founder's Gap? A big rift on the station. You can't cross it without the Founder's ferry. She leans back in her seat. I know some of the crew over at the ferry, old mercs, used to run in an outfit I worked with. Saw them in the Overlook and they mentioned they saw Ashton crossing. I checked the manifest and there he was. Looks suspicious. He hasn't said a word since the theft, and anyone wanting to hide out might head to the Greenway and go to ground, she flexes. He won't get far though. There's no real dogs out there, only a couple of Yetis in the wastes. Going after him? Not yet. First I want to fit the ship mine, she pauses. But maybe you could help me out. Sure, how? Like this. I head over there, especially in Amber. He will spot me a mile off and go on the ground. He'll find a way to slip the station or bury himself so deep in the waste that no one will ever find him. But you? Ashton doesn't know you. All I need is for you to go there and sniff around. Not at the commune, not the stacks. We will have gone to the edges, the margins. The wild places, that's what Ashton likes. You see him, you locate him. Ping me on this. He hands you a calm earpiece. Seeing as this is Merc work, I'll be happy to give you Merc pay. She shifts in her seat. Thing is, I haven't got much left, so how about I tell the boys who run the ferry to give you a discount? I know it's not much, but once I grab this coward, I'll pay up. 200 cryo, nothing less. What do you say? She meets your eye. Okay. He gives you a heavy whack on the shoulder. Good. I owe you. She lifts the ship mine onto her shoulder with worrying ease. I'm going to get this fitted into Amber's core. If you get any info, any sense of where Ashton is hiding, let me know. He goes to Turner and then stops. Once again, Sleeper, thank you. I appreciate it. Nikita stomps off into the guts of Amber with the ship mine, leaving you in the galley. Glance around, a sudden nervous energy descending at what is to come. You never thought you would get work as a mercenary, but then again, it seems the eye is full of surprises. Yeah, we need to end the cycle because I need dices. Okay, so we need to do... Oh, come on. Do I have to buy one of those already? Go for it. Come on. No! Piece of junk. I only got one? Poop. I can't do that if it's danger. I need a full one. Danger and risky. Okay. Okay, we're gonna go and finish this one off over here. Hmm. When you arrive at Lem and Mina's unit, Cassie is already waiting outside, leaning beside the door. Give me, sleeper. Basilis is already buzzing with news of the breach. I was expecting you. But this worked. Don't worry, the breach cannot be traced to the specific IDs I'm about to create. Cassie reaches into her pocket and produces a sleek green and white hand terminal. The data, please. Over. You know over a drive with the data and Castle fishes around for a converter cable to hook it up. It slots it into the terminal and after some wiring, a set of 2 transparent films marked with numeric sequences are produced. Hello, Ali. This is a game called Citizen Sleeper. So what it is about is like you gave up your own human body to ended up in a robot mind. We are a robot that ended and we escaped a corporation that we were working for. And we ended up on this space station, you can call it, called the Eye. And we are trying to survive and find an ending somehow, which I don't know what we will get, but maybe this will be an ending where we escape with Lem and from the space station. We'll see. So you have to do a lot of stuff though, learning how to make money, how to survive, and how to learn stuff. We hack nodes, we hack, yeah. We survived bounty hunters, 2 of them trying to kill us. One, the other bounty hunter shot, and we shot that bounty hunter. Yeah, there's a lot of things, but thing is, you have like energy and stuff like that, and so on, and how to survive. You have to use dices that gives you certain chance then to do stuff. You will see when we get to it. But there's a lot of reading in this game though. You hand over a drive with your data and cast the fishes around for a converter cable to hook it up. It slots it into the terminals and wearing a set of tools. Okay, we already did this. 2 tickets to an uncertain future. Castor smiles to himself. The child will go with Lem, of course. He pockets them. These are yours, but first he holds out a white cube. Your side of the deal. What is it? Something to help us make use of you. He passes you the square and you rest it in your palm. A small, white, perfect cube. Suddenly you feel a sharp pain and flinch. The cube jumps from your hand and rattles along the walkway. You look at Castor apologetically. Castor smiles. Not to worry. He has done his job. Now it is for you to do yours. You look down and see a tiny pinprick in the center of your palm. Nothing sinister. Castor puts the terminal away. This way we can keep track of you and the sidereal horizon. Whatever you need to do. Excellent. Castor hands you the transparent films. You see shimmering portraits of you and Lem flicking beneath its surface. Go. Give him the good news. And he reaches across and buzzes the unit. Lem slides open the door, half dressed in his gear. Reaper, what brings you up here? Come in. He beckons you inside. You look to the side, expecting to see Castor, but the wall is empty. The unit is cleaner, better organized than last time. Lem sits at the thin bar and gestures for you to sit. Mina's with some of the local kids. Someone has started doing lessons down the way. She seems to like it. Maybe sit? You sit at the bar. What's up, sleeper? I have some news. I'll put it down, Lem laughs. I have Celia's IDs for us. You have... Lem freezes. Ow! He blinks rapidly as if to wipe you from his vision. Does that mean? Yep. Dan stands up and paces around the unit. We have to pack. He starts laughing. Holy shit, we have to pack! He turns back to you smiling. How the hell do you swing this, sleeper? A friend helped. Well, thank you, friend. You show him the ID films and he whistles at the portraits. Impressive stuff. He pats you on the shoulder. You should stay until Mina gets home. We can tell her together. Sure. The buzzer goes. That will be her. Lem gets up and opens the door and Mina, a bundle of energy and life, rushes into the room. Robot! She shouts. Lem picks her up. Mina, you won't believe what they brought to us. You flash her the passes and she looks confused. You're going away after all, Minnie. He lifts her up above him on that big, beautiful ship. Mina screams and Lem laughs. He puts Mina down and she runs over to you and hugs your legs. I love you, robot, she says quietly. It's only you can hear. I love you too. And a while later, when you leave, you don't even think to check for Castor by the door until it's too late. You stop and turn halfway down the walkway, but there's nothing there. Even the little white cube is gone. So you keep walking back through the low end, deep in thought, excited and scared all at once. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 cycles and we will be gone. There is a lot of stuff you can do in this, so you have like, you have to eat to keep your energy up, or you can, because of a skill I have, I can use dice to get energy. But if energy is low, you get starved and then you get the minus benefits. And here you have to turn in fragment supplies to get some money, or you can even pay data that you hack. It's like hacking that you can do. Then you go into this side. But I have to have a dice that matches these two inputs here to be able to hack it, a 2 or a 3, which I don't have. This one has a 5 and a 3, and we have neither. Well, actually this will become a 5 when we put it in, though, right? Nope, it has to match. So there's a lot of story in this. It's a lot of, you have like hospital where we get the pill to fix our body. There's like, you have to do a lot of questing to unlock certain parts and so on and so on and so on. There's still stuff that I haven't seen that seems like I haven't unlocked as accounts. Let's see, can we do this? No, not that. This, I think it is we need to do. Okay, so this should be this one done. Clear overgrowth, okay. And we... This has to do with tracking this guide and that we need to find. Yeah, we're doing a few more. Buy a pill now because next time we will only have 3 dices. I would do that one if I can only get +2, but here I can get +3. It's like... Yeah, bit of a gamble here. Got it done. Greenway. The trail ahead extends deep into the overgrown section of the Greenway. At this far end of the ring, where the long, lazy curve of the Greenway becomes a shattered landscape of the wastes, things are oddly quiet. Ahead stands a vast farm stack, broken from its axis by rust or force, and lying amongst the overgrown landscape like an ancient temple. It is stained with moss and algae, flows of green running from its broken tanks like a frozen, brackish tide. This is where Ashton is hiding, you're pretty sure. All your intuition points to the shadows beneath its collapsed superstructure. You roll a comm headset and Nikita gave you in your palm. You slip the headset into your ear and it fizzes with static. After a few moments you hear Ankita. Sleeper. Have you located the target? Doubt enters your mind. Can you be sure he is there? Yes, come now. Copy. Hold tight until I get there. The static cuts out, the channel dead. You hold your position and watch it trail. Ahead the stars wheel with the motion of the eye, and your mind wanders. Try to imagine what this place looked like before the collapse. All ordered rows of crops, corporate pleasure gardens, glowing farm stacks. Now it is a wilderness, a strange overgrown biosphere bordered by the void of space. You smile. Despite everything, it seems like an improvement. Sleeper, Kita's hiss brings you out of your reverie. In a collapsed stack? Yes. Okay, you seem confident. She slaps you on the back. Well, there's no way I'm following that trail. If he's up there, he will have eyes on that for sure. She glances across the landscape. Let's keep to the undergrowth, work our way around. He heads off towards the central spine of the Greenway with you following close behind. It is slow going there. But the overgrowth meets a metal wall, but it is so concealed that you can barely see the glass roof high above. Nikita somehow seems to know where to go. Nikita works her way through dense undergrowth, pushing aside branches and fronds. It is exhausting and you desperately want to rest, but Ankita shows no signs of letting up. Up ahead is a faint glow from the collapsed deck. Ankita leads you around the side to a broken tank. Both step through the opening, trying to avoid the broken glass that sits among the moss and algae. You work your way up the slanted tank, Ankita setting up a deliberate pace. Somewhere water drips and you swear you hear bird song. Hanging plants cast the light, coating the place in a pale and sickly green. Ankita reaches the edge of the tank where it meets the central drum and holds up a hand for you to stop. Inch forward and look over the edge. The vast drum is like a cistern, with plants growing on all sides and wet mossy islands at its base. It is beautiful, and for a moment you can't see anything but tones of green. Then you see the sleeper. In a faint circle of light, sending down through the drum. The sleeper lies slumped at an odd angle. They are surrounded by crates, and beside them, on one of the mossy islands, there is an object. A cylinder set on a tarp. It is connected to the sleeper's head. Flinch. Are they one of the others? One of the ones that escaped with you? You squint, trying to recognize them. They're twisted, broken, open. Wrong. You look away. Kid doesn't look at you, she doesn't look at the sleeper, she fixes her eyes on the object. That's Amber's ship mine, she says, and you suddenly recognize the cylinder. Wait. You turn to Ankita to speak, but she is already gone. She drops off the edge of the tank and lands on one of the mossy islands. Her armor letting out a hiss as it absorbs the impact. The shot hits her shoulder piece, the ceramic armor cracking but holding as she braces into the impact. Then she launches herself forward, the now activated armor launching her across the drum. Another shot goes wide before she reaches the cover of the crates beside the sleeper. Shit! You hear the shout from one of the tanks high on the far wall. Ankita reaches over and wraps a hand around the thick connection between the ship mine and the sleeper. What is she doing? You better come down here or I'll rip this right off their head. She screams at the wall of tanks. She shivers at the suggestion. Up! Quiet, sleeper, Ankita shouts. Shot rips through the moss beside you, filling your vision with green. The shooter must be somewhere on the other side of the tank. Do that again and I swear to God I'll tear their head off, Ankita shouts to them. Sleeper, you stay down. There's a long pause. All you can hear is the dripping of the water running down the walls of the drum. Then Ashton calls out. Coming down, Ankita. Don't do anything stupid for God's sake. You appear at the far side of the drum, stepping through the shallow water, rifle raised above his head. Drop the gun, Ankita shouts. He throws it down onto the moss. As you lean out to watch, you see him catch your eye, clocking your presence. What are you up to there, Herr Ashton, you sicko? She stands, keeping her sidearm trained on his head. You ripped my ship mine for what? Some freakish experiment? Ashton approaches with shaking hands, his eyes now fixed on the connecting bundle of wires that Ankita still has hold of. Daddy Ankita, it isn't like that. I needed a ship mine. You have to understand, they would have died without it. What are you talking about? I don't give a shit why you ripped my ship mine and crippled my ship. I should put you down right now. He tightens a grip on the connection. Typical of you, Ankita. No curiosity. Ashton smiles shakily. That's why I never asked for it. For your help. You only look after yourself. He nods at you. That sleeper up there? They're just bait, right? Draw me out? Ankita sucks a breath in. Are you trying to give me more reasons to shoot you? I love them, Ankita. Ashton looks at the crumbled sleeper. I loved them and they were going to die. I knew you would never understand that. He starts closing the gap between himself and Ankita now, slowly, inching forward. Don't do that, Ashton, Ankita snarls. Don't do that. Let the wires go, Ankita. Let us go. If you don't get out of my way. He inches closer. Please. I can't let you take it, Ashton. Ankita hardens her stare. You stole it from me. You left me for dead. She shakes her head. You think I'm going to trust you after all that? I need it, Ankita. I need him to survive. Ashton is in reach of the sleeper now, of Ankita. I'm going to take them now, Ankita. He raises a hand. I'm going to take the ship mine and go. Ankita loosens her grip on the connection a little. Her hands is shaking now. Stop, Ashton. He lowers the gun a little. Stop. Seeing a drop of guard, he makes his move. Blur movement, a struggle, a shot, another. You recoil back behind the edge as they ricochet around the inside of the drum, the sound deafening you. When you crawl back to the edge, Ashton is bleeding into the water, the red and the green. Ankita is standing at the center of the drum, the severed connection in her hand. The water drips endlessly, drip after drip after drip. You force yourself to look at the broken sleeper. There's no sign of life, of humanity. There is just another broken object among another broken objects, while all around living things grow and thrive. Ankita finally looks back up at you, tears in her eyes. She begins to say something that might be, sorry, but you're already gone. Well, that was brutal. Okay, we need to buy... No, I pressed the wrong... Oh, god damn it. Wanna do that? Note says sleeper stay. I'll be ready soon. Oh, so that's not... Okay. Seconds to the left. 3. There's something else we can do. Okay. Not if you're gonna be able to do this one. See. All you need is spores for it. Deal harvest, that would be kind of bad. Takes 4 cycles, so that'll be done. One. Let's see what this gives us. Oh. Let's see here. Sleeper, we could greet you without so much as looking up from her work. I have some of yours here. Come see. beckons you over to a heavyweight-looking console wired to a series of specimen jars, some of which contain your spores. What does it say? The spores you have here are a real cocktail, a selection of types from within the growths. But I've been able to isolate a few. He taps one of the specimen jars. Here we have a Tricholoma matsutake. Rico breezes through the Latin and Japanese pronunciation as if it was nothing. A species Solheim somewhat modified for use on the station. She brings up a panel on her console showing a chemical composition, all gradiated in bars and obtuse acronyms. This is the composition of the Solheim modified Matsutake spores. Modified? Yes, every species on the eye is a tweaked variant of Solheim's, of course, but that's not the point. Rico brings up another panel, identical in layout, but with wildly different colors and numbers. You see, this is what your Matsutake spores looks like. Beyond to say? That's the conclusion, yes. Rico glances at the specimen jar as if it might have something to add. They are fundamentally the same spores, but they carry different chemicals, different signals. She leans back in size. Solheim may have introduced their own tweaked versions in the beginning, but the growths have, and still are, affecting them. Affecting them how? It's hard to tell without samples of fully grown mushrooms. It meets your eye. And herein lies our problem. He moves to another desk where two trays sit side by side. The first contains nothing but plant mulch. The second you smell before you even look at it, the pungent aroma of the fruiting Matsutake like rotting sodden overalls laced with an edge of spice. The Matsutake here are grown from Solheim stocks, pulled from a spore vault in this complex. He winks. They're delicious, by the way. It sets them aside. The empty tray is germinated with the spores you collected. No activity, no germination, nothing. But the growths are full. Yes, they are. Rico looks at you directly and you suddenly realize how much he is enjoying this. So here is our puzzle, Sleeper. Spores from the growths won't grow in the lab. Gathering fruiting bodies from the growths is too unpredictable. We need to grow a fruiting body from some of these spores so we can track it, understand it. In short, I need you to become my mushroom farmer. Actually, I already started. Rico looks impressed. Well, an eager mycologist. I would never have guessed. I assume you set yourself up in the aviary? You've been eyeing that place up for its proximity to the growths. Bring me whatever it grows, not just Matsutake. There's more than a couple of variants in there, so I'll need plenty of samples. She plucks up Matsutake cap from the tray. These little things are reflections of their conditions, their smell, their taste, their chemistry. It all derives from the conditions of the growth. She smells the cap. Enough of these and we'll have a picture of what is happening here. The ways in which this biosphere is modifying itself or being modified, whichever the case may be. Rico pops the Matsutake cap into her mouth, taking you by surprise. Don't worry, Sleeper, she says while softly chewing. If this turns out to be a dead end, I'll make sure that not a single mushroom will go to waste. Okay, so we need mushrooms here now. One, two, and that one I don't have. Ankita then. Let's see what she has to say. Put Ankita on the track to the farm stack. She has a box on her shoulder and is working her way down the slope. She sees you as she approaches. Neither of you speak for a moment. She looks tired, pale. Her hair is tangled and clumps of dirt cling to her armor. You both eye each other. Ankita. She holds up a hand. Sleeper. She takes a deep breath. I'm sorry for what happened. Truly I am. Looks down. I'm sorry you ended up in the middle of this, when all you have shown me is kindness. She rubs her face. I'm sorry. It's okay. She nods and looks up to the stars. I have never... She stops herself. Thank you. Ankita shifts the weight of the box on her shoulder. I've been preparing for... He grimaces. Look, she sighs. Can you come with me? It's easier if... You don't. Ankita leads on and down the dirt path between the pillars. There is a wind passing through the greenway. The quirk of the air currents her biosphere maintains, and it ruffles the leaves softly. The sound makes the silence more obvious, more complete. You try not to think of the last time you were here. You've been trying not to think of it for the past few cycles. The image of the sleeper, sprawled, twisted open, connected to the ship mine, has been hard to forget. You realize Ankita is leading you back there, back into the drum at the center of the stack. You pause, trembling a little at the threshold. Turns. What are you doing? He looks at you with empty eyes. What needs to be done? You stand on the threshold and look up at the tanks, green and wet, some glowing with flickering grow lamps. You look down at Ankita, suddenly so small under this hulking ruin, the smallest she has ever looked. He places the box down. Follow her in. You follow Ankita into the stack through a low tank, entering the drum at ground level. It is just as beautiful as you remember, but it barely touches you. Instead, you check the portures of the tanks for the glint of a weapon or a shadow amongst the moss. Ankita stops. You look down. The mossy island at the center of the tank is clear now, the equipment cleared away. In its place is a mound of dirt, loosely covered with moss. Ashton's rifle stands straight, half buried in the dirt at the grave's end. Bury them together, Ankita says without turning. You both stand there in silence for a little while. You think of questions you could ask about Ashton, about the sleeper. How long did you know him? It takes a moment to respond, and for a moment you think she won't, but then the words come gushing out. He signed on a while ago. He used to run recon for a corporate outfit, but he got sick of the pay. He joined the crew as a sniper, and the first few jobs were a breeze. It was so cold, disconnected. He always hit his marks. The last few jobs, though, he was different. I noticed that. He had a period of extended shore leave on the eye, and when he came back, he was changed. I assumed he had just had too much time off. He was right. I never would have given him the ship mind. I wouldn't have believed him. I've had crew members double-cross me, undercut me, rat me out. That's the business. He wasn't a good person. None of us in this job are. This is how we die. Alone. She stops, not sure of what to add. It seems like she's reaching for something, but she can't quite get there. You feel a gap between you, and as you do, it widens. The water drips, the mast trembles. You both stand in silence for a while longer. You both feel it, life creeping back in, the silence ending. Nikita shifts her weight and then starts to walk out. You follow her, suddenly eager to be back out in the open space of the greenway, to be away from this place forever. You stand outside and breathe the fresh air. You stare at the green leaves and the stars wheeling above them. That's it, says Nikita from somewhere behind you. You try to think of something to say, but can't. Nikita puts a hand on your shoulder. You turn back to her. At least take this. She forces a handful of cryo shits into your hands. It's what I owe. She looks at you desperately. You look down at the metal bars, ugly little things, you think. Take the shits. You take the shits and turn without saying a word. You continue up the track and she does not follow. As you walk up the rise, the wind picks up and the leaves shudder. You walk faster, trying to outpace your anger. The shits are heavy in your pockets and you hate them for reminding you how little a life is worth. Okay. Found an old crewmate at the edge of the rim. The bad end. Aww. Instant karma. Oops. Boop, boop, boop. How much is left? One cycle. I won't be able to finish this. No. You won't be here then. Could. But I can't. There's only one. And let's get our energy up. Feed a stray. The stray hops up onto a work surface and looks out of the unit's small window. It doesn't acknowledge your presence, it just sits there, beside a tray of crumbled crackers, staring out at the low end. What is this cat's story? Are there more on the station? You haven't seen another in the low end, but in this vast megastructure that means little. It could be a whole colony of cats like this one down in the Warrens. You look at its sleek dark fur and sharp eyes. It doesn't look ragged, it looks at home. In fact, its presence in the unit makes you wonder if this is the stray's apartment which you are squatting in. Approach it. You lean a little forward and the stray tenses up. Perhaps best to give it a moment to get used to you. The stray settles a little and starts eating, picking at the broken crackers. You don't remember ever having been this close to an animal. It triggers something in you, a recognition of a life totally unlike your own, but still somehow connected, parallel, even into the woven. The stray licks crumbs from its fur. You like it here? The stray flicks the tail at the sound of your voice. It is hard to imagine the stray liking anything, or at least being vulnerable enough to admit to it. But the stray's pleasure at existing here, in this place, shines through its every sinew. It is not that the stray is always happy on the eye, but the stray is engaged by this place. It is alive here. You turn your eyes to the window, the one that the stray looks out of, and you both watch the stars and the ships together. You feel something pass between you and the stray, a kind of acknowledgement of each other, a sense that each of you might share something with the other, a point of connection. Then all at once the stray yawns wide, hops down from the unit and brushes along your legs. Then it's gone, out through the unit door and back into the corridors of the low end. Okay, that was a random encounter. End the cycle. Really isn't anything for us to do. So let's see here. Lemon Mina. There's a crowd, but you spot Lemon Mina immediately as you enter the dock. They are waiting at the cordon, where Selly security are checking the crew in to board the ship. Those that manage to get up to the hub are crowded near the entrance, but even they know the chance of getting on board has long gone. Lem! Lem spots you among the crowd. Sleeper! We're here! They are standing beside a bag which looks to carry all the possessions they have. It is small enough to be carried in one hand. Hi, Mina. Mina is vibrating with excitement. She seems strangely at home in her microgravity, but then you remember that she has spent her whole life in space. Hi, robot. You hand over the Silly's ID film to Lem, keeping your own. He turns it back and forth in the light. Where did your friend even get this picture, Sleeper? Looks my old Conway ID. You look and the shimmering younger Lem stares out of the film, harder and clean cut. I spoke to the guard here, he nods to the white and green clad security officer. We'll be doing orientation and role assignment on board. Sounds like we're going to be working under the core crew. Kind of like of an intern. He laughs. What do you think, Minnie? Am I too old to be an intern? Following Lem's lead, you inspect your ID. As you lift the film up to the light, you see something strange. Something that makes you flinch. The face printed in the film is one you recognize immediately, but it's not you. At least it's not how you look now. You squint at this ghost, confused why you hadn't noticed earlier. It is a picture you remember being taken, a memory that you didn't know you had. You remember signing the forms, the walk to the sleeper tanks, the cold metal floor. You remember the SNARP employee who helped you in, her smile clean and surgical. You freeze in place, thinking of the you that still sleeps somewhere in an SNARP facility, that won't wake until you are recovered and disposed of. And now you're leaving. Will they ever wake up? Sleeper? Let me interrupt your thoughts. These guys want us to board. You stare at him without thinking, then notice the guard gesturing to you both to come forward. You all kick off and float over to them, steadying yourselves on the guardrail. You hang back, letting them present his ID film first. The guard slices across the white machine, much like the one Cassie printed them from. You reflexively rub the puncture mark on your hand, even though there is no trace of it now. It seemed to be your destiny to be someone else's tool. Lem and Mina wade through, the guard smiling at her excited face. Lem turns back to check you're coming. The guard beckons you closer. Bored. You shake off your doubts and hand over your ID film. The guard barely looks at it as they pass through the scanner and wave you through. A new life built from old things. You okay? Lem asks, concerned as you catch up with them. You're so slow, robot, Mina teases, grabbing at you with small hands. Just making sure. Lem nods, and you realize how much harder it must have been for him to cross that threshold. Mina struggles in his arms, trying to get to you, and Lem relents, struggling with both the bag and his daughter. Mina tumbles through the microgravity and grabs onto your clothes for purchase, pulling herself into your arms. You all proceed up the walkway, the entrance to the docking bridge yawning wide above you. Are we family, robot? Mina asks as you move, taking you by surprise. I guess so. Mina smiles and presses her head against your chest, pleased by your answer. You keep moving up into the docking bridge, then along that thin, glass-walled connector, all the time Mina clutching onto you. The lack of gravity means you can't feel her weight, only the grip of her small hands on your clothes. You both stare wide-eyed at the vast hull of the sidereal horizon, and try to think of this huge machine as a home. Later, when you settle in your bunk, after Mina has finished running back and forth between you and Lem with an endless and infectious excitement, you find yourself looking at your ID film once more. Somehow, since the last time you looked at it, the image seems to have changed. It is still a picture of the old you. The person that signed up to have their consciousness copied and placed into the ownership of SNARP. But something else has crept into the image. The underlying self of self-identification. This is also a picture of you. You now. The you that survived the eye, that made friends here, that found a way out, that escaped against all odds. The other you might never wake up, they might never live again. But so be it. They consigned you to the doomed life for their own gain. Their life is yours now. You will live it better than they ever could. You lie back on your bunk as the thrust of the sidereal's vast engines kick in. This feeling, this rumble, will be your constant companion for the next decades. You'll be there when you work, when you watch Mina grow, when you dream of the planet at the end of the journey. It will stay with you when your body starts to fail, despite the best attempts of Lem and Mina, as the years stack up and it exceeds its safe operating period by a decade. It'll be the thing you wake up to in those rare moments of consciousness between which Mina will keep you in a frozen state in the hope of preserving you until your destination is reached. You will still be there when Mina wakes you, tears in her eyes to tell you of Lem's inevitable death. It will not relent, despite your desire for a moment of silence. It will be the final thing you hear as Mina shuts down all but the most vital of your functions, and hopes beyond hope that you make it to your final destination, all the while doubting that you will. But for now, in this moment of departure, it is still a new sound, new feeling, and because of this, it is filled with the promise of the future. And so you settle back on your bunk and close your eyes. And in the moments you are sleeping a perfect dreamless sleep, the most peaceful that you can ever remember. I guess that was one ending. That was one choice we made. We go with this. There's so many choices you can do in this game.